Hello everyone, my name is Sharita Austin and I'm here to talk to you about interpersonal communication. Now, I'm sure everyone thinks that they do an awesome job communicating with others. I'm sure everyone listens to everything that everyone is saying in their conversations. There are no distractions and we actually listen instead of hearing, right? Well, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that because even I, throughout the readings on Peterson, Berkeley, and Allen, I was able to understand and even identify some of the barriers that I have and work on strategies to help me to communicate better and actually to become an effective listener. Now, communication is defined as the process of exchanging information in the form of messages, symbols, thoughts, signs, and opinions. When we talk about communication, that involves all the different ways that we're able to express ourselves to the other person or the individual in which we are communicating with. There are 4 known ways of communication. One being verbal, the next being nonverbal, written, and visual. In the verbal, you have all the ways that you communicate that involves you speaking. It involves speech. So I can speak to you, you can speak back to me. That would be known as verbal communication. Next, we have the nonverbal communication. That involves anything with me not actually speaking to you, but you're able to understand and translate what is actually being thought, said, or felt. After nonverbal, we have the written. Written is anything that is written down using pen or paper. It also can be translated through text messages, memos, note cards, any form of communication that is not actually spoken. Then we have the visual. Visual involves anything that can be seen with the eye that is able to be understood and also translated. In the visual, we have postcards, we have bulletin boards, we have poster board, presentations, anything that can be seen with the eye to help me understand better. Some people can read you with their eye. Some people can understand the other person by looking at them in their eyes and understand what they're saying and what they're feeling. Now, in the nonverbal, there are different ways that communication can take place versus in the verbal. The difference in the interpersonal and intrapersonal are just that. Interpersonal is more personal with the person. Personal identities are identified in the interpersonal, and then the person has the capacity to maximize what the other person is thinking, feeling, or even their emotions. Now, intrapersonal, the person is minimized and you're not able to build relationships and even have that intimate one-on-one contact with the person. For me, I had to take self-inventory and understand how I communicate and even come up with different ways to help me be a better communicator and listener. When I think about how I communicate with others, I often notice that I use my hand a lot, as you can see. My tone is sometimes varied depending on the situation. If I'm very excited, my voice will get very high or my tone will escalate. Or even if I'm mad or upset, my tone will actually escalate or sometimes go down very low. So those things that I've noticed in how I communicate with others and took self-inventory on things that I could actually work with as well. Now, communication has 2 levels, which involve sharing information and also connecting with others. When you share information, you allow yourself the ability to actually connect with each other. Through your interpersonal communication, you're able to share how you feel, you're able to release emotions, and you're able to connect with the other person because they're able to know how you feel. Now, the difference in the interpersonal communication and intrapersonal communication, you have the different ways of hearing and listening. This is one of the barriers that I had for myself. I often found myself listening to other people in a way that I actually was hearing them. You can hear a person and not actually listen to them. Hearing itself is being able to perceive sound, while listening, on the other hand, involves a more sophisticated mental process and is a learned skill in which we all should be able to learn after this presentation. Now, the barrier with listening and hearing is you have to be willing to listen to the other person. Oftentimes in our life, we think that because we don't interrupt the person while they're speaking or we make eye contact every now and then, that we're actually listening to them.